Hello, I'm Bella from Beepy Bella, and today I'll be reading Can Tripping Save the Planet by Simran Sethi from Nautilus magazine. In 2016, Gail Bradbook traveled 11,000 miles from her home in England to a retreat center in Costa Rica. There, in the verdant, biodiverse sanctuary, she consumed ayahuasca, an extract used in healing ceremonies that is typically brewed from plants native to the Amazon basin. She also consumed iboga, a small shrub found in Central West Africa that, for centuries, has been used as medicine and sacrament. Ayahuasca and iboga are powerful hallucinogens. Bradbook, a lifelong environmental and animal rights advocate with a PhD in molecular biophysics, had consumed psychedelics in the past. But on this particular trip, she hoped to better understand how she was meant to focus her work. There was so much I wanted to do that wasn't quite working, she told me. Her trip reminded her of some long-held convictions that we create our own realities, and that her purpose was to be in service to life. More importantly, it offered what she describes as the answers to her prayers for what she calls the codes to social change. Through a series of synchronicities, her experience in the jungle became a catalyst for the creation of Extinction Rebellion, a global nonpartisan environmental movement. Extinction Rebellion stages dramatic, nonviolent acts of protest and civil disobedience to demand corporate and government action in response to climate change and ecological breakdown. The movement is not without its share of criticism, but has inspired unprecedented mobilization among scientists, as well as engagement from governments and banks that bear some responsibility for fueling the climate crisis. Psychedelics, Bradbook says, helped me get out of my own way. I was praying for guides and for guidance. The trip became the starting point for the birth of the movement, she said. The link between psychedelics and eco-consciousness has been documented going back to the 1960s, when psychedelics first gained momentum in the West. But the precise nature of this relationship has always been a little mysterious. What comes first? An attraction to nature or the psychedelic experience? When Bradbook had her transformative ayahuasca trip, she was already an environmental activist and had previously tried psychedelics. Like her, many psychedelic users actively seek out natural settings for their experiences. But not everyone comes away from a psychedelic use planning to start a transformative environmental movement. Sometimes, healthy individuals also have bad trips, which can feature extreme anxiety, fear, and psychotic episodes. Some trippers put themselves at physical risk, acting aggressively or violently, and ultimately seeking medical help, and longer term can suffer from flashbacks or develop persistent psychosis. Perhaps psychedelics primarily enhance pre-existing affinities or mood states. In a recent paper, researchers from France and Canada argued that psychedelics are essentially super placebos that increase suggestibility and enhance symbolic, ritual, and interpersonal dynamics. If so, it is possible that in many of us, they reinforce an innate human connection to nature. According to German philosopher Erich Fromm, all human beings subconsciously seek connection with the rest of life, a concept he termed biophilia. Fromm believed that this trait was an evolutionary adaptation designed to foster a harmonious relationship between humans and the biosphere. Research findings support the idea that even when subjects take psychedelics in clinical environments devoid of nature, in dull, sterile medical offices, many of them still emerge with lasting, stronger relationships to the natural world. The sublime sense of oneness with the earth that is associated with the psychedelic trip is thought to emerge via a process known as ego death or ego dissolution, a blurring of the distinction between self and other that may result from increased crosstalk between brain networks related to self-awareness and introspection. Psychedelic users tend to claim that ego death leads to the realization that all of life is interconnected, a kind of cosmic holism. In fact, even after just one psychedelic experience, people are more likely to attribute consciousness to other living and even non-living entities. But feelings of cosmic holism are one thing, eco-activism is another. Lately, as climate crisis looms, some psychedelic researchers have turned their attention to a pressing question. Does the perception of interconnection with non-human life, generated for so many by psychedelic experiences lead to action to protect the planet. Studies on psychedelics and the environment have so far relied almost entirely on self-reported information and are correlational in nature. There could be a relationship between psychedelic usage and environmental engagement, but there's no direct evidence that consuming, say, a mushroom or ayahuasca brew causes this shift. But there is a lesson in psychedelics, according to Extinction Rebellion co-founder Brad Book. These experiences are not just an awakening to the connection of the environment, she said. They are an awakening to our full humanity. Humans share kinship with all living things. We are nature itself. Thank you so much for listening along. You can follow us on Instagram with the handle Beepy Bella. It's Beepy Bella. One of the reasons why I love this article is because it covers the basis of potentially negative side effects of doing psychedelics, as well as the positive and the benefits, which I've personally experienced both in my creative practice. Please keep an eye out for the Beepy Bella Nautilus glass mushroom ring that's coming out with a special magazine that will be limited edition. Have a great day and see you later.